Hi Year 3, welcome to Wednesday's lesson. So today we are going to be looking at another poem from the Werewolf Club Rules by Joseph Coelho, and this poem is called School Dinner. So I'm going to read it to you now. A slice of gravy, a spit of jelly, a smear of custard, a husk of sausage, a dribble of beans, a silky sliver of meat, a cold snotty mush of veg, a yellowed rock of sugar, a browning mash of fruit, a lump of milk, a scab of pizza. A packed lunch, please.
So I want you to have a look at the structure of this poem. What do we call the words that are in front of the items of food? So we have a slice of gravy, a spit of jelly, a smear of custard. What do we call those words? They're all nouns, aren't they? So we've got a slice of gravy. A noun is a person, place or thing. A slice is a thing. A spit of jelly. Jelly is a noun too, and a spit is a noun. So this poem is full of nouns. It's full of things. So what you're going to do today is make a list of nouns, so a list of things to describe your item of food. So first of all, you need to think of all of the food options that we have at school. So make a list of all of those. And then you want to make a list of nouns that you can use to describe that item of food. So the size of it, how it's cut. You want to use this poem to give you some inspiration of the nouns that you can use in your poem. But let's just have a quick think about this. The first line says a slice of gravy. Now a slice is something which you usually cut into. You can have a slice of cake or a slice of pizza. Gravy is a liquid, so you can't have a slice of gravy. So it doesn't really make sense. So you could have your poem could be similar to this poem, and you could think of some nouns that don't necessarily make sense with the item of food that you have got. So I'm going to show you now the food options that I have chosen and the nouns which I have chosen to put next to it. Okay, so here is an example of the food that I have decided to use, some of the things that we eat at school. And then I have thought of a list of nouns. Now, don't get confused with adjectives. We're not thinking of describing words. So we're not thinking of words like delicious and fiery and spicy or gooey. We're thinking of things. So a square of toad in the hole, a square is a thing, isn't it? And if it was cut into a square, that would make sense. We can have a pile of fajitas. A pile is another example of a noun. Now, if you wanted to make it like the poem and have it so it doesn't really make sense, you can do that too. So I've got a wheel of vegetable Wellington and a tower of brownies. Those are other nouns to describe the noun that is the food. And then once you have thought of all of your food options and thought of nouns to go with it, you can then put it together into your poem. Remember the structure of the poem, you must have A at the start, so a square of toad in the hole, a pile of fajitas, a mountain of fish and chips. If you wanted to challenge yourself, you could put an adjective in front of the noun or after the noun as well. Okay, so I have started to write out the poem. A square of toad in the hole, a pile of fajitas. I then decided to challenge myself and I thought of some appropriate adjectives to put before my noun. So a fiery splash of curry and a delicious tower of brownies. All of the nouns are underlined in purple, and the adjectives which I added to my poem are underlined in pink. Now if you wanted to, like I said earlier, add some adjectives or nouns that don't necessarily make sense with the item of food, you can do that because the poem is a bit funny and it doesn't necessarily all make sense. That is up to you. You could also make a list of foods that you don't necessarily like at school, and you can think of some nouns to go before that to describe it. So you might say, for example, in the poem it says a lump of milk. Now a lump of milk suggests that the milk is a bit mouldy and it's starting to turn, so it's not necessarily a nice thing. So have a think and think but if there's any noun that you can use to describe an item of food that you don't necessarily like that much. Okay, so now it's over to you to think of your list of nouns and maybe add in a few adjectives if you want to challenge yourself, and your food options that you are going to do, and then you can put that together into your poem. Now please remember to do your best handwriting. Presentation is really important, and send your poems over to your teachers if you would like to share them with your teachers. So if you finish this lesson and you've still got time left, like I said yesterday, there are some grammar sheets that you can be getting on with, which you will find in the spelling and grammar section in the English part of the Year 3 page. You can also practice your spellings, and if you go into the reading section, there are some comprehensions there too, which you can be doing. So there's lots for you to do if you've still got some time left. There is a typed version of today's poem on the worksheet for today for you to go and refer to if you wish to.